Hogan, thoughts?
First of all, Ethan, nice to meet you. And of all the praise you gave Mark, I watch this platform all the time. I get people coming up to me that say how great this is. It's fine. Let's relax. Let's not go too far here, Ethan. Okay. Now, no, it really is. It really is interesting in this time that we can have these kinds of conversations. And Mark, I do really appreciate you for having me on always to talk about them in the format you've kind of constructed here. Um, I think I've said this before, but if you take away Trump's executive orders, if you take away policy with through Congress or any type of legislation, what I do think a lasting thing that he has done for the Republican Party that will not go away in the foreseeable future is he basically said it's okay to fight back. You don't have to say okay to the media. We'll play your game. The people that attack you, you don't have to kowtow. The era of the lovable loser, the self-deprecating Republican, I think is over. Now, is that always a good thing? I don't know. If the mea culpa's not there anymore, okay, fine. But I do think you're hitting on something here that's absolutely right, Mark, which is no, I'm just not playing that anymore. The guy made a mistake. He doesn't deserve to be killed for it. He doesn't deserve to be deplatformed or canceled or whatever. Give the guy a chance here. And there is a growing sentiment, a growing backlash that the left went way too far on these types of things, whether it was Me
Yeah.
Too, whether it was cancel culture on the internet, whatever. And the moms out there were worried about their kids. I think that was an undercurrent in this last election that their sons, particularly, I mean daughters too, but sons in particular, could really be hurt for the rest of their lives for some mistake like this. Now, we were all in an era, Mark, you and I don't know, Ethan, how old you are, but I'm so glad there was no social media when I was growing up, obviously,
Yeah.
because you would be having a different conversation. But we live in this world where these things kind of live on in perpetuity. And I think JD was doing exactly what you said. I think you read that right, which is first of all, you triggered me for bringing up my kids. And then second of all, no, I'm not playing that. And I think that's a show of toughness. And I think for the MAGA strain, they love it.
Yeah. Hey, Sam, can you put back up the first Khanna tweet and the second and the second JD tweet? Can you put those up simultaneously with us so I can see them? Anyway, here's my question. First to you, Ethan. If you were Vice President Vance's comms director, and he said, "Hey, look at this tweet by Ro Khanna. Are you going to apologize, make him to apologize for the sake of both their kids?" And he said, "Here's what I want to tweet back." What would you have said to the Vice President?
I think the "you disgust me," that's got to be deleted. That's just too
Yeah.
much. It's just too
Yeah.
much. I think you can have sentiments. You don't have to get into that high dudgeon. I think that undermines some of what you're saying and what some of what you're conveying. You could be steadfast. You can say, I'm not playing your game. You can make all these points without getting emotional and taking it there. So
Yeah.
that is what I would advise. But I do think it is a response to the moral blackmail and this issue where this guy, his tweets are there are posts, they're indefensible. They are. But the problem is once you accept the premise that this sort of thing is grounds for dismissal, the definition of racism and bigotry often gets expanded by cynical people. It gets instrumentalized as this sort of moral blackmail to stop you from doing a job. And
Yep.
that's the conversation we're having right now as a society. Can we be functional over firing everybody all the time if they're in a controversial position for something they said in the past? And I think a lot of people have reached the point where they're going, I'm tired of it. I don't care what my plumber believes. I don't care what my doctor believes. All I care about is how good you are at doing the job. And I don't want to have this sort of conversation anymore. And I think that's what Vance is saying.
Yep. Put up the Vance tweet. I want to ask Hogan a question, but I want to play off something Ethan said, and I love the way you expressed it. Here's a problem with the dynamic we've had. Okay. Ethan has twice condemned the post that this young man made. I condemned them too, but I don't know the circumstances around them. And I
Yeah.
don't know what's in his heart. Part of what's happened, okay? Part of what's happened by the left canceling people for old social media posts. Part of what's happened is the right, and Ethan isn't not this. Ethan condemned them. You don't hear people condemning them on the right because their tribal reaction is Forget condemning them. I'm condemning the cancelers. They need to also condemn the posts, because I don't want the kids of either of these guys to read those posts and say society doesn't care. Society's fine with that. That's the balance we have to have. Condemn the stuff, not in a sly, like, brushing off way. This is bad. It's unfortunate that he did this. These are hurtful things. And then say, but he shouldn't have the professional death penalty for them. And if he does come back, and it seems like he's going to come back, I'm wondering what the left will do, because the left should not be focused on, do people want to hire him? That's their business if they want to hire him. But they should be condemning them. But they shouldn't go to war over condemning them and say his life should be ruined. And this is a criticism of Donald Trump forever. Because for half the country, what Trump and Vance are doing and Musk are doing is right. Hogan, answer the question. Would you have told the vice president to hit send on this thing?
Far be it for me to tell.
Calling whiny children, would you say, Mr. Vice President, maybe not grow up whiny children? Yes or no? Would you have told him not to?
Hey, look, you're not going to get a yes or no out of me. I've been doing this
try.
way too long to throw yes or no.
Yeah.
But your clamoring for nuance is quite noble, Mark. It's just not been around for a while. And I think
we're trying to restore it.
Well, I understand that, but the blowback here, I think, good, bad, and different, right, wrong, is I'm just so sick and tired of every time someone does something, them getting excoriated, pilloried, attacked. So I'm not even going to address what the guy tweeted. I'm just going to fight back at the person.
No, I know. That's a problem, though.
Right.
That's a problem.
I know, but I'm saying it's a problem, I would argue, of the left's own making.
Okay.
They got us here.
That's tried to suggest that they started that dynamic. But look at J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is insulting a very nice and respectable and bipartisan member of Congress much more than he's insulting the young man for his posts. That's not right. That's just not right.